Hello YouTube. Hey, it's Dave here with another Watch Love video here. Just this time looking at my Casios. It dawned on me the other day, I've got four of these things. Four Casios, and I don't wear them a whole lot, but they kind of have an interesting place in my watch collection. And I thought I would just tell you a little bit about them, so if you're interested in some more watch content, I mean, what watch lover doesn't like to hear about watches? So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about kind of the history of these. Let's start with this thing over here on the right. This is just a really cheap $16 watch. I looked it up on Amazon the other day, 16 bucks. And it's just really light, not made of any kind of stainless steel, maybe a stainless steel back. And that's it. But so why do I have this watch? Well, this was a watch that I just loved back in college and had it in, just wore it all the time. This is what made me fall in love with the blue dial. I mean, you can see how kind of mesmerizing that blue dial is. And, I also keep it because I didn't really know what a quality watch was until I held one. So I used to wonder why people would say, oh, the Bracelet is cheap, or, the watch is not very heavy, or it's rattly. And I never noticed any of that with this watch because I'd never held a quality watch before. Now that I own quality watches, it's fun just to go back and play with the sucker and just see what a really cheap watch with an integrated bracelet and folded end links and whatnot looks like. But every once in a while, I will throw this on a Saturday and just wear it out to breakfast and just live some nostalgic memories. In fact, I think I owned this watch in college, and then it broke, and I bought another one just like it because I liked it so much. And then I think after 10 or so years, I took the old battery out of the old watch because I had taken it out and I stuck it in here, and it's still running. So and quite accurately. So that's that. All right, so look what's next. We got the Casio World Time. You know what this is? This is the Casio Royale for all you Bond fans. I too am a sucker for a Bond watch, and I was also looking for an '80s nostalgia watch because I love the '80s. Grew up in the '80s. And I didn't really want the F41, F71, what's the terrorist watch that everybody loves? It's so small, and even though it's like 10 bucks, I really didn't want to spend my money on that. But this was a mere 25 bucks. Picked it up at Walmart one day, and again, kind of a chintzy cheap watch, but it is really fun to wear on the wrist, and every once in a while I wear it and just think, man, it's got a surprising elegance to it for a cheap digital watch. So that's my cheap digital 80s watch that I almost never wear. Got some great GMT function. There's London time, Moscow time. What is that? Bangkok and New York. Back to my home time zone. But yeah, this is a fun watch to have if you want a Casio digital for nostalgic purposes. Let's see what else. Okay. I had to have a beater watch that I could do yard work and construction and different things around the house, and that's this watch. This is my DW9 something. I'm sorry, I didn't come ready with any of these. I'll put them down in the link below, the description below. But you notice this is not the original strap. So when I bought this, I like this design. In fact, I wanted the cheapest possible G-Shock I could buy, and this G-Shock was a whopping $30, $35, maybe $40, and it came with that very thin, very cheap resin strap, and it just made this look huge on my wrist with this thin little cheap strap. So I went to the watch box and I realized I had my Seiko SKX. I bought it aftermarket. I don't even know if it had the Seiko logo on it, but I don't even know if it was an authentic one. This feels really hard rubber, but yeah, it probably is an authentic one. But I picked it up for like $5, $6, $7 off of eBay, and tried it one time on my SKX and just didn't like it, and haven't done anything with it since. Well, I took this out and I thought, well, let's try something. So I took it and I snapped off a couple of millimeters on each end, turning it from 22, now it's down to like 16, and was able to get that in there. And yeah, this is not pretty at all, actually. But man, that's the strap this thing should have come with originally. It gives it some beef, and it matches the beefiness of that really high the way the watch sits up so high. There it is. Looks good. And of course I did buy the bull bars for it because I just think that really gives it a cool look. And I really get bummed out with scratched up plastic crystals, and these things scratch up so easily. So this kind of helps protect that. I mean, I've given this some good wear, and you can see it's in great shape, and has the illumination. I like that. Very simple, easy to use watch. So there's my G-Shock. Then finally, to appreciate this watch, first have to show you a wristwatch check. And that is my Citizen that I just picked up last weekend for $40 off of Facebook Marketplace. And I do have a review of this up. But while I was there, the guy, had a bunch of watches, and he had a terrible picture, so I couldn't really tell. And he goes, well, I've got these watches, and he showed me this G-Shock. And I said, well, how much you want for it? And he said, well, he offered me something. I said, how about $20? I think this is why I got these so cheap. He thought this wasn't running, and he thought this needed a battery. And I don't think he understood that both of these are solar. They'd been sitting in his drawer for so long that he had just let them die. And so I had to sit out in the sun. And I learned that artificial light for these, what did it say, 57 hours to fully charge? Something like 8 or 10 hours under artificial light to maybe get it past the critically low mark. Whereas 1 hour in the sun in this thing is up to medium power and can fully function. So it's not the prettiest watch in the world, but it's one of the G-Shocks that you can get on Bracelet, and that makes it kind of cool. And I don't know what I'll do with it, whether I'll keep it or sell it. I think they're selling used for maybe $40 or $50. They're not selling for a lot. So again, it'll just sit in my watch box for a while, and I'll break it out once in a while when I want to go swimming or do something different. What I like about this is it has, if you look on the bottom right, the radio controlled time, just like this one does. No, not this one. Sorry. I'm thinking of my Citizen, my other Citizen, Blue Angel's watch. So this, you can set it, and in fact, it's the 20th today, 11:05 p.m. If I push this button, it'll tell me that earlier this morning, 5 a.m., it was able to get the radio signal. The other thing I like about this, you can set it, if I hold this down, and then when you turn the watch, it lights up. So I like that. So good watch to wear in the evening if you like to glance at the time a lot. But not a huge digital guy, not a huge, it's hard to put on one of these when you can put on one of these, right? But for basic functional use, yard work or swimming or just feeling nostalgic with with this guy, these have a place in the collection. So there you go. That's my 4 Casios, and there's always a place for Casio in any watch collection. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you if you can give me a like, and we'll see you down the road in the next video.